guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you didn't already know, act like you know, because it's that Azo. So let's hop right into this video. So today I want to react to a video by Sloan called Drake Bell is Speaking Out. Nickelodeon is canceled. So I'm sure a lot of you probably have heard about Quiet on Set, the basically expose slash documentary that came out about Dan Schneider and basically a lot of the things that were happening on set and how a lot of these actors, young actors, were not protected. And now Drake Bell is telling his story.
It wasn't dealing with anybody on the shows or anything, right?
It was a child actor.
Wow.
On one of our shows.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, there is a lot going on in the Nickelodeon universe because some dark secrets are finally coming to light. And Drake Bell has recently revealed that he is in fact the victim who was harmed on the set of The Amanda Show.
Oh,
and it
wow.
makes sense why he was gifted his self-titled show, Drake and Josh, because the network needed to make up to him for what they let slide.
Drake Bell just came forward and revealed that he was only 15 years old
Wow.
when he was on Nickelodeon. So a few weeks ago, a trailer came out for an upcoming docuseries called Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. And in the trailer, they announced that they'd be revealing which Nickelodeon star was my former voice coach, Brian Peck.
Now, Nickelodeon is absolutely to blame for this entire situation and why we haven't known this information for so long.
Oh,
Because
wow.
they've been trying to keep it under wraps because, I mean, what type of child star would want to work in an environment where they are hiring criminals and letting this happen not once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, like 10 times Drake was harmed by this monster, Brian Peck, which...
You know what? Also, I heard that this case was sealed, and I'm wondering whether it was like sealed because it like had to do with a minor, and they just didn't want to reveal the name. Which at the same time is just like, yeah, I completely understand, but at the same time, to seal the entire thing, at least make the public known of the offender, so then other people can be well aware, and you know, and you shouldn't be hiring somebody that is capable of such things, especially if, there are children. Anyways, it's a really complex situation, and I am just sending well wishes to Drake Bell because this is a lot.
Just to clarify, no relation to Josh Peck, just that naming. Now, personally, I have a complicated relationship with Drake, but I am proud that he's sharing his story because it's not only showing what could happen behind the scenes, but what is absolutely happening behind the scenes and what he had gone through. This report writes that Drake Bell is stepping forward to address allegations that a dialogue coach harmed him during his teenage years on Nickelodeon. The actor is slated to appear in an upcoming ID documentary titled Quiet on Set, which is set to premiere March 17th and 18th. Although Drake Bell remained silent in the recently released teaser for the documentary, he is anticipated to delve into his experience in the full release. He's going to talk about what the interactions were like with Brian Peck, and it's going to be really hard to watch. I mean, a lot of the people who were interviewed in this documentary had no idea who this victim could be, even though we've known about this for some time.
To hear that Brian Peck was a sexual, it made me wonder immediately about who was being hurt.
Right.
Who it is, when it happened, where it happened.
Wow.
I have no idea.
Now, I hope none of these people are playing dumb, and to be honest, I don't think they are. I think Nickelodeon is incredibly skilled at covering up something like this. Like, yeah, 14-year-old Drake, I'm sorry you went through this, but do you want your own show? I mean, that's why you've been a child actor anyways, right? They could convince him, and I just want to remind you guys, I told you guys that Drake Bell was harmed by Brian Peck on February 17th, 2021. You guys can go back and watch this video. It is 3 years old at this point.
Oh, wow.
2022.
Okay, look at you clocking the
3
T.
years old. So we've known about this for a very long time. Again, if you've been following my channel, this isn't really news to you, but it's, now it's big news because Drake is revealing it. And I am interested in what details we're going to get because we did go through some of the, criminal charges
right.
in this video if you want to get some of those specifics. Some of you guys have actually commented recently on this video. I had to circle back to this with the new documentary of him telling his story. The fact that you covered this 3 years ago, wow, salute to you for always providing reliable content. Keep up the good work. Another person wrote, I had to come back to this video after everything has come to light now, which I'm not trying to like, oh, whatever, but again, I'm not trying to put out fake news at any point. And yeah, it's unfortunate that this is the truth, but now Drake has the support to go and tell the world.
Right. Also, I want to add that I think that it's kind of wild that Sloan was able to clock that T 3 years ago, but people that were much, much closer, like, I'm not saying those two actors that said that, who it happened to and where, like, knew, but I'm saying people that were much closer to the situation. It's kind of hard to believe that they didn't know that something was going on, you know? Maybe they didn't know the full extent, but they knew something. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't dealing with anybody on the shows or anything, right?
It was a child actor.
On one of our shows.
Yes.
Wow, that must be devastating news. If you really don't or did not know, devastating. But even more for the person that happened to.
The trailer is really intense, and I can't imagine that he's going to be holding back, because if you guys go to the text message his wife sent me in, I believe, October 2021, I made a video about it. She talks about back then in 2021 that they were actually pitching this story. They wanted me to meet with their lawyers. I actually was reading this text message to this guy I've been talking to last night. And we were going through it again because I was like, oh my gosh, she texted me about this in 2021.
Oh, wow.
They wanted me to sign, like, these papers, I'm assuming, with these lawyers so they can keep this story under wraps while they pitch it. Drake is no longer married to his wife, Janet, but back then they were planning on him telling his story, telling his truth, so I'm glad he found the perfect avenue to do so. But, you know, Brian Peck did a lot of nasty things to him. He was under the age of 16, and includes lewd acts with a minor, oral copulation, which is like doing things with your mouth. I mean, oral, you probably can, you know, add it up. And there were also some drugging involved as well, which that's what I'm really freaked out about. What did he give him that would make his consciousness, you know, kind of slip away? It also looks like there's going to be other actors who Brian Peck has harmed before. And they're also going to be coming forward in this documentary. So kudos to them for being able to, you know, tell their truth. And, you know, Brian Peck went to jail for what he did to Drake Bell. And then he went and he worked on this set of Zack and Cody.
That's what I heard.
See my recent podcast about Disney. Definitely go.
That's what I heard too.
Because Disney is just as bad as Nickelodeon.
Wow.
This person commented, I said it, I knew it. Ariana Grande might as well have gone ahead and tell her story. Justin Bieber too. Just no need to hold it in anymore. It's
I don't think they should have to
wrote, I seen somebody say that the reason our generation is so hyper, you know what, is because the generation before us touched us as kids.
Oh my God. I don't think they should be telling people to come forward. This is traumatizing.
Drake Bell was the big reveal. So many of us grew up with him being a constant presence on Nickelodeon. For me, it was elementary school through high school. I still remember the lead up to the last episode of Drake and Josh like it was yesterday. This is going to be very difficult to watch, which I totally resonate with that because, you know, Drake has done his own crimes. We'll talk about that in a moment. There's a cycle here. But we did grow up, like, watching him on television, and to imagine that he had been going through that, like, mentally and holding it in behind the scenes, like, and, you know, he's not, like, and I don't know what, I'm not, like, a specialist, so he's not, like, an LGBT member, you know? Like, I believe he completely identifies as straight, so I also wonder what the implications are of having, like, this man do those things to him. Like, it's gotta mess with your mind, and you can only have sympathy for someone who's gone through that. This person wrote, holy crap, I really didn't think it was gonna be someone huge. I would have watched this regardless to hear what the mystery person had to say, huge celebrity or not, but wow. Despite this being a shocking reveal involving Drake Bell, people are still upset to see his face around because of the crimes that he had committed previously.
Himself was accused of a minor. The victim alleged that when she was a teenager, Drake sent her inappropriate messages and twice forced her to perform OS on him. She accused Drake of forcing her when they were backstage and in a hotel room.
Now, he's spoken extensively about Drake's crimes in the past. If you guys want to go and check it out, it involved a girl who was, in her early teens. They had a relationship through the friendship that he had with her aunt. She's Canadian, so she had a file in Ohio because that's where the lewd acts had occurred. It went to trial. We all watched it unfold. I actually requested all the court documents, which took weeks, almost months to get. They're kind of redacted, but there are some birthday cards and certain things in them, and I've never released them, but I have considered one day putting them out there because it's all the evidence in his case. Again, the case against him that he had messed with a minor, which is kind of like an example of this cycle of what happens here. He was harmed, so now he is an adult and he harms kids, which is sad and it's unexcusable.
All of the gross feelings that I had, ignoring those feelings only made them worse. I felt so miserable, broken, and humiliated. I was struggling to sleep every night.
This is a lot.
To just continued for a while after that, until I eventually put a stop to them.
This person wrote, so he modeled his weird behavior from his own past. That cycle is treacherous. Another person writes, still doesn't excuse what he put other kids through. I can feel for his child self going through that, but I can't feel for a grown man that went ahead and touched other kids. And even though Drake I believe he was convicted of inappropriate messaging, I believe, of to a minor. He wasn't actually convicted for anything physical. He still has to put himself on the SO list, the list of those people who have been known to
yeah, we get it.
Like this, and when he has been confronted about these charges, he says they're fake, which I kind of call BS, just because I have personally looked through all the court documents. But he's really,
I can't speak on that. I don't know.
Anyone can make these up, and anyone could be guilty. And I understand there are false accusations, but now even learning about his past, it kind of just seems like a case file here. It's it really is an example of someone who has been harmed and continuing that dark illness that he was exposed to.
I haven't so much deep dive into that.
Money on representation and investigation and all this stuff just to defend myself. And they said, well, now look, this is what a trial is going to look like. You're going to go, it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks. My wife and I just had a son. So they're like, your son's going to be sitting behind you watching this happen, and the media is going to twist it any way they want that's going to make it the most clickable as possible. And it's going to be every day. People are going to be watching what's happening every day. And anybody is going to be able to say anything they want on the stand, whether it's true or not. And unfortunately, we see guilty people walk away, and innocent people go to jail every day.
This person isn't buying it. Was this before or after you fled to Mexico and changed your name to Drake Campañana?
I heard that was a lie.
About you came out. I'm sorry, I cannot
say
he didn't actually Campañana. I believe
flee
that's
to
Bell
Mexico.
In Spanish, so it's not like he actually changed his name to Drake Campañana. That's just a play on his name using the Spanish word for bell. Another person wrote, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but the fact is Drake was never found guilty of SA. He also never pled guilty to SA. That man who did that to him was and went to prison for it. What happened to Drake is horrific. If you don't know about the situation, which is most often the case, because many things are not known to the public, be careful with your words. And I actually wanted to leave on that note because I think it's important to go and look at the case files. You guys can go to the Ohio State Court. It's not easy. You have to call some people, but you can go and request those files, and you could read them, and you could really go and look at the evidence in that case, and then hear what Drake has to say. We've got the files on Brian Peck. They're redacted. We've got the charges, so those aren't a past video. You can go if you really want to make that judgment, which I feel like here I'm kind of in that indifferent place where I clearly don't approve of what he's done in the past, but I'm also holy hell, I've known this for years now. He had gone through.
I think that is a good place to end too. I guess just on my end, I've never really deep dive into Drake Bell's past like that and whatnot, but This is a very, very sad situation, and I don't know if you guys seen that Ned Declassified podcast was making fun of it, and he was saying something about give me, you know what, I'm not even gonna repeat it because it's not cute. It's not something that you really make light of like that, and I just hope that they talk to somebody and that, you know, they redact what they say and truly, truly apologize, because there is more than one victim, and especially with this Dan Schneider stuff coming out, like, y'all should know better. Y'all are very grown. Y'all are millennials. Like, you know better. You're not like some 11-year-old Gen Z or some 16-year-old Gen Z or some 20-year-old Gen Z. You know what I mean? Like, you are grown. So you should know better. So anyways, let me know what you guys thought about this down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.